dark embossing, but and that you can just make out embossing of a thistle on that. So I might just cut that down like that. It's just right size and it's flat as well. I've done my trick of covering it with a label. I've had a nibble round at the piece with the nibblers. Not a big fan of doing this, but I do it, but because I've cracked too many of them in half before now, but this one's gone alright. So grind it down next. Oh, and grind the thistle bit down, see what happens. Does help when I switch it on. So, there we have it, just fits in. So that fits in. I was just taking some of the glaze off the back so it makes it easier to stick down. So let's peel most of this off. And there we have it. The thistle bit, it's all stained, but it might clean up a bit more when I put it in some more bleach. There we have it. More of a plate that I found me some time ago. No more bits. I forgot to show that. That was one I made a couple of years ago, well 3 actually. It was one piece I found in a little stream, and I had to cut that down because it were all broken. And like I say, I've made 3 pendants out of it. But these were some of the earlier mounts I got, and they tend to oxidise. But in that box I found another piece that I'd found in that stream about a year later. So probably same plate or same dinner service. So I can make another 3. Just trimming this down a bit. They're a bit sticking up at the edge and I cracked it. Fortunately it's not gone near there, so I'll try and cut as much of that out as I can. Well, best I can do, I'll grind the other bits down. Oh, while I've got the coarse one in, I'll just take a bit more off that. I'll just infill that with a bit of white after I've ground that bit off the back, make it a bit more flatter. Well, I got most of the flour in. And it's just spoiled a little bit there. Have to be careful when I grind it down, then all the glaze doesn't blow off. It's the only problem with some pieces. You lose some. Well, I thought I could get 2 out of there, but 1 and a bit. Well, get 1 out of this, maybe 1 out of that, but I'll try and save all that for another one. And I don't think I can get out of that. It's too quick step. But you never know. Well, 1 piece out. I'll cut that out separately. Well, it's only half ground out, but I'm going to put a sticker on and grind the rest down. And I don't know if I can get out of that. Well, I'll snap that out of there. Oh, somewhat with a bit of colour on, I can see you. There's a bit of Pink Floyd, another brick in the wall. Oh, that's different. Right, that one, it's not glued in, but I'll stick it in with the resin. And I've made some red. Well, that looks alright for another brick in the wall. A nice flower. And with this one, in a bigger mount, so I can flatten the curve off so it sits more flatter. And they are cleaned up and made flatter so it don't stick up as much. I've got some of these that are deeper sides on, so I might use it with that. But fill it with resin, milliput, coloured milliput, coloured clay, whatever. Just makes it nice and useful. We go at casting, well, infilling, and I didn't want to see how it go, but I think them look alright. So now I know how long it takes to do one, I can film it. Well, just going to do a bit of RP first. I just want to try something out with this. The bit I want to fit in there, the stripy bit. stripes and ridged. And that's a nice piece. Well, this is 3 bits of a ball found in local stream the other day, and as you can see, 1 bit's no good, but these big chunks like that, so I will be cutting this down so it's more manageable for when I cut pieces out or cut it into different shapes. Well, there's this acorn one, but I've trimmed a bit of the back off, so I'm just going to thin it down a bit more now. That's a bit thinner now. I've got this bit. I'll come on to some bits that somebody gave us from the same area as well. But it says opened October 3rd, 1867, and there's just a bit of a building on there which I found out is Preston Town Hall. So let's cut that chunk out. after, and trim bits off after. Should make a nice one. Near enough done. And this one, which I said in the previous video, we're going to cut down, so let's see what we can do. Loose. Well, with a little bit of focus. Well, a little bit of infilling in there, and that should be all right. There's this one. It has a bit of a design on the back, but I think I can lose that. And we'll get it into there. Well, it's already taken that design off at the back, so I'll carry on this off camera just to thin it down, and I'll bring you back later. Well, that's thinned it down, and it's below the lip of this now, so I'll glue that in and then decide what colour I'm going to infill it with. Right, just going to trim the base of that down, ready for when I get the rest of the pedestal. Well, that didn't take long. And now that I can thin thick pieces down, I'll put them in these even bigger amounts if I get some nice pieces to go there. I don't think anybody wants to go around carrying off hundredweight of pottery around their neck. And a bit of a broken handle, and the reason why I collect the little pieces because that looks like feet. They're all standing on each other's shoulder. Looks like little men or beetles, but That looks like somebody's feet. It's probably leaves, but because that's the top and not the bottom. Let's see what I can do with that. Because that's the bit with a spoiled off handle, so I can cut as much down as I want and just try and save the middle bit. Well, that was a quick one, but I might just thin the back of that down, just so it's level with that. I might use the diamond file for that. It's getting a bit too close to my fingers. some of the bits and pieces that you saw in the video. Some of the videos were taken a couple of years ago. Some were just test videos I made at the time, just to see how things went. We'll just go through them. The thistle one, this is an early one I did, because you see I haven't took the back down and it's not all that clean. Plus these are some of the older mounts and they've oxidized, unless I use one of the vintage type mounts. But yeah, you can see how I do them. It was just, let's say, just testing. And this piece with these three, this was a piece I found some years ago and just cut down, and then I found this piece in the same area, and while I was actually putting all stuff on the board, I noticed that this and that one are a different size. Yeah, so that might be off a different plate out of the same service, and they were found literally next to each other, some time apart. So I got around to doing something with that again. And again, this is an early piece I did before I got the glass grinder and all that. I was just trimming the edges with a sander on Dremel, and I put the beads there just because when you were wearing it, it tended to bend them in, so I just put the beads there just as a spacer. And again, like I say, it's a big chunk of cup, so you can even use big pieces like that, make a nice big one. And again, this, it was just chipped on there, so I've just flattened it down so it makes it easier. And I'm just waiting for one of these to come that's got a chunk missing out of there, but it's got a good pedestal on it, so I'm going to make one out of the two when I get round to doing it. And this one, which I said I was going to put in a different mount, but I decided to put in a thinner one like that. And like I say, I've got it below, and I'm going to put two different colours, top and bottom, and then go over it. Like I say, a lot of the stuff here are test pieces, ongoing projects. Same with that one. Could have done it a bit thinner. And this one, which is that Preston one, and I dropped it. So I kept up bits. So it's a shame that. And a tiny little acorn bit. I can't find the other two bits. I've got them somewhere, but this is another acorn one I was just starting to thin down to put in something else. And these, the other brick in the wall, and RP as I call it, and a bit of stripy stuff. That was an early one I did before I started using resin to infill, and a bit of milliput, which looked smooth when I left it, but when the water had dried on it, where that I had smoothed it down, you can see it's a little bit rough. And like I say again, that was an early test piece, and like I say, that one was done not so long back ago, and it's tarnished. Don't know why, whether it's just the cheap mounts I'm using. Looks like my battery's running out now. Right, back again, just change battery. And that one, just below, but it looks alright. That we've been out of the stream, it's got all the glaze on and not being abraded, so it'd still do like that. I'll end up putting 2 chains on instead of 1 loop in between them. And some of these, some turn out nicer than others. Well, like I say, everything I do is just an experiment. And sometimes I set out doing them one way and they end up going another way. And various other ones. Some I could have put flatter, but probably end up as just like key rings. And this one that weren't in any of the videos, was just a piece I found. And I know it looks like a flower, but it looks like somebody just peeping out. And like I say, you can use tiny little pieces like that. And a few more ongoing ones that haven't been infilled yet. And 2 others that I still haven't decided what colour I'm going to put in that, but it looks better in that rope mount because it sort of matches the petals. And a bit of willow. There's always some willow. That took some thinning down, but we got there in the end. And various other little bits and pieces. Don't know where the bit's gone out of there. They were just like say, I was just testing to see what I could cut out and how they cut out. Same again with that. I'll probably end up just drilling a hole in that and just put it on a cord. I might even be able to get another one out of there yet. And some ones that didn't go quite to plan, but I can grind them down. That's the problem with some of these curved pieces. You get the edges and then it doesn't break right. And a couple of bits there, just showing before I snap it out. And got that one in my box of bits. One of my early goes at either a coaster or a fridge magnet. Bits could have been cleaned better. Like I say, an early one before I started cleaning them better. And this is an early one that Mary wears every so often. I just put them there just to cover the knot up. But that's part of a cup, and somebody did post some pictures up of what a bigger piece would look like, more of a cup. I'll stick them up now. And again, various early test pieces. You know, could do with being made thinner. But, and I do like me maker's marks and that lot on the backs. So that's the best I could cut it out without going too close to the edge of there. Well, hope you've enjoyed the long video for a change, showing how I do bits and pieces, and one day I will get round to well, not selling them, but I think once I get enough subscribers and enough views and comments on my postings, any new ones that I make, I will probably offer them up in competition for people to win. Well, it's goodbye from me, Mary and the ducks.